Welcome back. I'd like to tell you another of my stories. And of course, some of these stories are a bit larger than life or at a scale a little bit bigger than you might encounter in the normal office environment. However, you could, what's the opposite of extrapolate? Take the scale of it and bring it home, bring it down to the scale of your immediate work environment or your client's immediate work environment. So bear with me, the noise is a little blusterier than normal on the same beach, different day. And when you see that ultimately I lose that laptop, I don't actually just misplace it for a while, you'll understand how that could affect customer satisfaction and ultimately, I think, affect my career. If I'd had more logical steps in place, maybe that story may not have happened in the first place.
So let me give you another of my sob stories, or AKA story on a beach about adult ADHD. And unfortunately, it's another story about me. This one is catching an airplane from London to Bologna. I often have trouble getting on planes and through security and remembering to pack things after unpacking things at security or whatever it might be. But in this occasion, I was on the plane. I worked for the hour and a bit that it was flying from Heathrow to Bologna to my client. Let me show you the beach this morning. There's my friendly Max picking his hole, and then I've just walked out to Old Harry Rocks. Anyway, here I am again. So we land in Bologna. I've been working on a proposal or a solution for another client from Sweden that was deadly urgent, and we had to land so that I could upload this document that everybody had been waiting for. As we're landing, fold up my laptop, put it under the chair at my feet, and the next time I think about my laptop, I'm in the luggage area. So I've been through all the doors, and my laptop is clearly still on the aeroplane. And I have to be at the client in Bologna within a short space of time after landing as well. But there's no point without my laptop. I was supposed to be there a few days, and without my laptop, I might as well just get back on the plane and head back. So this is where the kind of running, or what my friend calls my chicken man interpretation, which is making sounds in rapid succession that sound like cluck, 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 as I run around an airport, trying to find somebody who will help me, because once you're through those doors, they're a one-way thing, and they won't let you back on a plane. And guess why? Because you'd be crossing back onto the apron and you become a security risk. Nonetheless, Desperate Jay is desperate and running to every door and waiting for somebody to come through a door and ask if I can get through to get back to the plane. And of course, nobody will let me. Meanwhile, the cleaning crew have gone onto the plane. I double back on myself. I go out and through the baggage area to the departures, and I go to one of the check-in desks for another airline, because it's a small airport, so nobody was on duty for checking people in for leaving this blessed airport. So I find somebody from another airline who took pity on this desperate man and tried to help me and got me through to the security guys and to the lost and found, and asking the security guys to do something special. But nonetheless, my heart is racing, and I'm now just having to phone my client and say that I'm running a little bit late, and phone the guys in Sweden and say I am running very late on uploading that document because I'm still trying to find my laptop. So some of you know what it is to lose a document and not know where you filed it in a hierarchy on SharePoint. But Jeremy loses the device that has the document on it because it hasn't had time to upload to that SharePoint folder. this is what happens. So I did end up getting a taxi to the client just to tell the client that there was nothing I could do. Had a little meeting about the status of this project and headed back for an early return home with a very unhappy client in Sweden, who I might mention. Yeah, let me mention that. I remember that there was another time with this client in Sweden for whom I was doing this document, where I left my passport at the hotel when I was leaving. The hotel was an hour and a bit away from the airport. I called a taxi all that way. I got to the airport to find out I had left my passport behind. That was my introduction to the Swedish client, where I was actually meeting him in Germany. But I'll tell you the story about the airport in Germany another time. But it's how one mistake cascades to impact two clients and a career, mine. Because people started to see a bit of a pattern that when Jeremy traveled on business, he often had a delay, he lost a document, he lost his passport, he was delayed in security, no end of things where I guess it was a real stress test of one's ADHD when you're hopping on an aeroplane every Sunday, Monday to another part of Europe, and sometimes just going from the UK to Italy and from Italy to Sweden or Italy to Helsinki or to Paris because there's an emergency somewhere, so you're hopping on two planes in the same week even if you didn't plan for one of them. So forgive me if ADHD manifests like on steroids, but you can imagine Chicken Man running around going, oh God, don't tell me I've lost another one, and phoning his boss who's going, oh God, tell me he hasn't lost another one. So that's my story on a beach today.